Welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. Today we're going to be installing a stove in our hammock hot tent. If you haven't seen the first video, I set up this monster hammock hot tent from One Tigress. So this is something I'm going to be able to use a hammock with. I'm going to be able to use this like a wall tent outside. I picked up the cheapest wood stove I could get on Amazon. And there's several models and they all kind of look like this. And I did a burn in already because there's all kinds of soot and stuff that's oils that you don't want in your tent on the initial fire up. And the glass was a little sloppy in here, so I put a little a gasket around there, some RTV material. So today we're going to set it up with the tent and we're going to see how hot we can get the inside of this hot tent. If this is the kind of thing you like, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment in the comment box and ring the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Burning River Bushcraft. I also teach outdoor classes at outdoorcore.com. So this video is not necessarily on this brand of wood stove because I don't remember what brand it was. This was just the cheapest one I could get. But there are a lot that look very, very similar to this. So it's got legs that fold out. The total weight is not too bad on this at all. This is not something I would necessarily want to carry on my back. You could if you had a frame pack of some type, but definitely you're going to be better off with something like this in a sled. That's how I brought it back into the woods today. Okay, so with these legs popped out, this side burners are kind of a handle. So they flop out of the way. And all the other components are all stored inside the stove. So I've got 7 pipes that all fit in, and really the only one that's important is I've got a damper right here. So you can see I can control the airflow somewhat. There we go. So I did do a burn in. So the first burn was done in the open. And you can see all this nasty, just grease and stuff from shipping. You don't want that stuff in your tent. Your tent will stink for years if you don't do a proper burn in. So I'm just going to assemble all the pipes. And then we're going to go through our stove jack. So this tent's got 2 stove jacks. I've got one if my stove exited through the top. I've got another one here in case it exited out the back. And then this just Velcros out of the way. As long as our stovepipe is keeping in contact with the jack, we're good to go. If our stovepipe happens to touch the nylon, we're not so good to go. So make sure you've got the coupled end of the pipe down, and I'm going to go up through my stove jack and put on our stove. So I just checked the top for clearance and it's not touching anywhere, but this pipe does not have a spark arrestor on top of it. So what the spark arrestor does is keep sparks and embers from exiting the pipe, landing on my tent and burning a hole in it. So if I encounter issues with that, I'm going to have to either make or buy a spark arrestor for this size pipe. So I got 3 things left inside the stove here, and the first is going to be just a lid, and this lid goes on top. So I can take that lid off and put a pot or something on it. I have a fire poking tool as well as it's got a hole on it here, or it's got a pin, and that pin is designed to lift this off. Now the last item in there is going to be our fire grate. And this doesn't look so hot after only 1 burn, so this may not last too long. I keep this upside down for transport, so I have a little bit more room inside the stove itself. When it's in use, I'm going to have legs down. So assembly super fast. Let's get a fire going in here and we'll see how well it does as far as heating this tent up. So I'm going to leave the doors open on both ends until I know that this thing's drafting okay. And I just got a commercial fire starter here for this. So the first impressions on a stove like this is a complete game changer. It's hot in here right now. It is very hot. And you can work outside and you can have a fire and you can blaze the fire and get your hands warm and continue to work. But there's no time limit with something like this. As long as you've got ways to put food in the skillet, you can be out here as long as you choose to. My gloves, they're steaming right now, but they got wet and I can just dry these off. My pants are going to be wet this evening from being out here all day. Again, anything that's wet, I can dry it off here and I can reset with a good night's sleep for the next day. And that's all that wilderness survival is really all about. All right, till next time, this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.